than a minute to go. And if you have not yet announced yourself, please unmute yourself and announce yourself.
I'm Cheryl
Okay,
Lovelace, Woodbridge, Virginia.
Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Okay, everyone. It looks like it's the top of the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight on our team Zoom, our first travel talk. But my name is Christy Bainey, and I again want to welcome you. But I would like to bring to the forefront our 3-star founding director. She wears a sapphire ring indicating earnings of over $100,000 annually. She knows 100% of the facts. She's a wife, she's a mother, and a coach living out of Atlanta, Georgia. Mrs. Joy Dawkins, take it away.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Christy Bainey. I appreciate you opening up this Zoom each and every week for us. Christy Bainey is a leader in our company. She is a goal builder. She is building her team internationally. She's doing some amazing things. And just a few months ago, she retired from her corporate job. So now she is focused on this full time and doing some amazing things. Thank you so much for your servant leadership. And I want to welcome everyone to our Thursday night team Zoom. I love it. We are here each and every week to help grow our businesses. Of course, we discuss different topics in building our businesses. Now we really make those cross-country connections. We get to see each other. And I love that. I love that. Now, on every second Thursday, we are going to have travel talk. That means it's going to be all things travel. So you definitely want to have your pen and paper. You definitely want to invite in the future, if you haven't already, if you didn't get the word, this is a great time to invite your ITA only, people who are just focused on booking travel, because we're going to help them go to the next level and really introduce them into our culture if they haven't been plugging in. And of course, travel is fun and things are changing rapidly right now. So you want to stay plugged in. That being said, I am going to take the opportunity to also plug for this coming Saturday. You do not want to miss this. This is going to be literally the most important call of the year. On our Super Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to have the founder of Planet Marketing, and he is hosting the founder and president of IntelliTravel, along with Mr. Andy Coffin, president of Planet Marketing. And the three of these gentlemen are going to really cover, highlighting last year and what happened or didn't happen, but also most importantly, moving forward and what's happening in the travel industry. Many of you, and we're going to cover this just a little bit tonight, many of you have heard about the new ruling, and I am certain he's going to address more of that on Saturday. So get the word out, talk about it, invite, text, remind, Facebook message, whatever you need to do, but get yourself there and also get your team on so they can hear everything firsthand. That being said, we're going to jump right into travel talk. And I would like to bring up a young lady who is quarterbacking that for us. She is a 1-star director. She is a director maker. She hails out of Los Angeles, California, and she is doing some incredible things. I tell you, she knows 100% of the facts about this business. She loves having fun. She loves helping people, and she's a beautiful person to be around. Director Sandy Myrick, I know I saw you on here. If you would come front and center.
I am here. I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody, it is great to be here this evening, and I am thrilled to be doing Travel Talk again. We put it on a hiatus, but we have now incorporated it into our business, and that is, for me, that's our team call, and that is huge because this is what we do. So not to belabor it, but I want everybody who knows what Joy was talking about, with the CDC announcement, just put in the chat, I do, I do, I do. I just want to know who does. Or maybe it's better if I don't, if you don't know that part. But here's what I want to share with you. In case you didn't know, because in light of the recent surge in cases globally and the variants of coronavirus being seen all over in various countries, guess what? The CDC issued an order yesterday that will become effective January 26th that requires all travelers entering the US from any location outside of the US to present a negative COVID test. And it's got to be done within 72 hours prior to their departure. What does that mean? That means that this order applies to all air passengers. I don't care, 2 years of age or older, traveling into the US, including US citizens and legal permanent residents. Guys, that's huge. What I want you to know is this. As usual, the travel community, travel advisors, suppliers, vendors, travel advocacy agencies, all of them, we all rally together and we're working hard to communicate how this order can be implemented with the least amount of stress and the greatest amount of simplicity and efficiency. So first, stay in contact with your supplier. That's huge. Each one will likely be doing something different. For example, the AMR Resorts, it's providing for a same-day COVID-19 test at their resort. And if the person tests positive, guess what? They will be covered to stay at the resort for up to 14 days. Different suppliers are doing different things. Second, you stay educated and be proactive in reaching out to your clients about what's happening, that you are aware and are monitoring the situation. Share the good news of what the resorts and the suppliers, are doing, because that's the important part. Stay in contact. Nothing relieves stress like believing you are in the hands of someone who's knowledgeable, professional, and compassionate, right? And this is not just your clients, these are potential clients that you should be reaching out to, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But on that note, I'd like to bring up a business partner who can share some insights about traveling internationally recently, like literally last week. And so I'd like to bring up someone who I enjoy. She is tons of fun, lots of wealth of knowledge, books travel all the time. I'm not going into her Planet Marketing accolades just this minute, but you should know them. You should know them. But I want to know if Ms. Kat Hines, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I hear you, Kat. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here because I want you to share with everyone where you went and what you experienced on your air travel and on your arrival to the country and the resort. Could you do that for us, please?
Sure. So I just returned from Los Cabos, Mexico. And I chose Mexico because it was one of the only countries that did not have any prerequisites in order to go there. So the only thing that we had to do was a pre-health screen. So it was asking questions about, do you have a cough, a fever? Have you been around anyone that has been diagnosed recently with COVID-19? And it was no. And we basically just walked right through because I feel like they collected that just to say that they collected it. No one read it. If you did it electronically, which some airlines like Southwest, we fly Southwest, so you were able to complete that form online and get a QR code that they can just scan right in customs, and it was just go by like that. So that was no problem there. The resort was at 33% occupancy, so we felt like we were the only ones there. Everyone was masked, temperatures taken everywhere, hand sanitizer station and foot wash stations everywhere before you entered the resort, as well as any restaurants or enclosed spaces that you went to. The only place that you were not allowed or not obligated to wear a mask was at the pool and on the beach, but the beach was deserted with 33% occupancy. People were, a mile apart if you wanted to be. And at the pool, they had all of the beach chairs and everything separated so that you still were not on top of one another.
Awesome. I got to ask you, so did you feel safe?
Yes, I did. I did. And I am a nervous Nelly. I have not been out of the country since January of last year, but it was killing me. I couldn't sit another minute. So we did this market research. We went for a site inspection just to kind of get my feet wet to see what traveling during the pandemic out of the country was like.
Awesome.
It was
So
absolutely safe.
that's what I was going to say. So what would you say to clients now that would come to you? What would you say to them about traveling abroad?
I would tell them that it's absolutely doable. Everyone just has to do their part. And so as long as you are social distancing, you're not putting yourself in a situation to contract the virus. Even when we went off of the resort, which I don't know if I would recommend that to everyone else, but I did it because this is what I was there for, to see what it would be like. Even when we went off the resort, people were masked everywhere. And I still felt safe, even, on excursions and different things like that. They were really focused on the tourists and keeping everyone safe. So I would not frown upon it, but just to make sure that you stress the importance of everyone doing their part.
Thank you, Kat. I really appreciate that. And we are going to come back to you because I know you have lots to share about your fam trip that you created and the things that you did. But I want to move on because of some other things that we want to do. But thank you so much. What I want to also is if anyone else has been outside the country in the last, let's say, 3 months, why don't you go ahead and put, me too, I've been, and where you've been in the chat so people can see different things if you do that. But I want to move on right now because to Kat's point about what do you say to people when you're talking to them, I want to talk about qualifying your client, also known as saving yourself time, energy, and money. That's what that's about, okay? So when we talk about qualifying your client, that's when that first initial interview with your potential client. And why is it so important? It's important because you are a businesswoman. You are, time is money. And while you might want to be and book for everybody, everybody is going to fall into a priority scale. Who deserves your time? And that's what qualifying does. It gets rid of, no, I shouldn't say get rid, it identifies the tire kickers, those folks who are looking for the cheap. That's my bird call. And it identifies those who are the dreamers. In other words, their expectations are way out there. It identifies, though, as well, those people that that are time wasters. They can't make a decision or they're not ready to make a decision. But it also will identify the folks that you want to spend time with. And that is huge. So I love our company because we have a form in the back office, and it is our customer, I think it's a customer identification form. And what it does actually is it tells you, boom, 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 the kinds of questions that you should ask. Now, this should not be, 50 questions. That's not what we're talking about. Somebody's interrogated. This is active listening. And this is asking open-ended questions and close-ended questions. So Dr. Akinyela used to always have this thing that was called, keep these four things in mind: transportation, destination, habitation, recreation. And if you kept those things in mind, guess what? You are going to be able to ask some very pertinent questions. I'm going to see if I can share my screen really quick, because I just want to bring up this. I want to bring up this form, if I can do it here. Now, let's see.
Do I need to give you the mouse or you're good?
I think I've got the mouse. I'm just trying to, as I'm pulling it up, I'm trying to find, there we go. I may have it. I may have to open up my, travel. Okay. Everybody can see my screen, I hope, at this point, correct? Yes, good. So if you go to the dashboard And let me see. Here we go. On the left-hand side, you're going to see the customer profile form. This is a great start. I love this form. It gives you everything that you need, but I'm going to challenge you that there are some questions that you should ask, because all of this information you do need to have. And one of the questions that they don't ask, or that most people ask all of these things, but they never get down to the bottom, which has very important question, and that is, where have you vacationed before? Where have you stayed before? That you enjoyed, that you liked, or that you didn't like. That is a question that's going to get people talking about their likes, their dislikes, and gives you an idea of what type of vacations they've done in the past, price-wise, activity-wise. Because it also says, what cruise lines resorts have you stayed in? It asks down here at the bottom, what activities do you like to do when you're traveling? Because you ought to be asking those questions as well. One of the questions that I love to ask is, I've got my note right here, because are there any other people involved in the decision? I'm going to back up. Let me back up a little bit, because one of the things I want to make sure, as I said, your business, you should be making an appointment when you're doing this. Making an appointment and talking over the phone, or nowadays, I use Zoom. It's very important that you see the person and you talking to them. It makes a personal connection. You are not just an order taker, because you are selling yourself at the same time. So if you're doing that, you're on Zoom, you're asking those questions, ask them. As you do that, are there any other people involved in the decision? Why are you asking that? Because you want to know, who else would I be talking to later? You want to know, what are they seeing in their research? Because you better believe they've probably already looked. So what are they seeing in their research? And you can ask, are you working with anyone else? Because if they tell you, yeah, I'm talking to you, but my 4 other friends, they've each got a travel agent, you make a decision at that point. What do you want to do? Do they already have prices, and where did they see it? You want to know that. Okay. And then we get to the budget question. How do I ask what their budget range is? Typically, I don't ask. I use these questions to give myself a framework. But one of the questions that I heard recently, and I just started using, as a matter of fact, is, so what amount of money do they not want to exceed? Ask it that way. Don't ask how much do you want to spend. Ask them, how much money do you not want to exceed? And they'll be like, give them $3,000 per person, $5,000, depending on where they told you they wanted to go, and what $5,000 per, and let them tell you. Because then when they say, oh, $500 per person, really? Is that air too? Okay, so I want you to put in the chat, if you have some questions that you ask that you find to be very beneficial for getting your knowledge about presenting a quote to these people. Because remember, what we're trying to do is save time, save energy, and you want to make some money. But this is your opportunity to educate as well. Because if they're telling you that they want to go, to some luxury place and 5-star this and 5-star that, and when you ask them that, how much money do you not want to exceed? And they tell you $1,000 per person, you need to educate them. Great, I understand that. And then you give them some education, and this is where your knowledge comes into play. Whatever you tell them, however you decide, however you prioritize them in your workflow about getting back to them with a quote, keep that. My recommendation, I don't send any first-time client, somebody I don't know, I never send it via email, ever. Because you better believe they'll take that email, they'll start pricing this, that, and you may never hear from them again. No, I do it with people I've booked with before because I know them. But anybody that I don't know, it's an appointment. I'm calling you, we have a Zoom, and I'm going over them with you so that I can share with you the pros, the cons, and then I'm going to say, what do you like? This is before I've sent them anything. So some people may do things a little different. So I want to hold out right now. Is there Director Roan, anybody else that may want to share what they may do just a little bit different?
I'd like to jump in because I recently had someone who reached out and they wanted to go to Gambia. And I was like, wow, that sounds fun. Well, I have never booked Gambia. So I did what you did. And I started asking, well, what have you seen so far? What did you like? And how did you get there? And I mean, you know, like the flights, I asked, what airlines were you looking at? How much did it cost? I asked all of those questions that I'm still going to have to do the research, but they had already done it. And the key question there was, how long do you want to stay? Well, when they told me a month, that meant this was a different kind of trip. And I found out that they're looking at actually moving there, which also changed it. So I also asked how much how much do you want to spend? What's your range? But I think it's so important to ask questions, because to your point, Director Myricks, they've already done some of the research. This person did the research and they got overwhelmed and they said, I think I need some help. So now I gathered all that information that she gave me and I knew exactly where to look for. I even knew the airport code because I asked. And so it made it easy. I could get back with them right away. So don't be afraid to like ask question after question after question.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask the question because that's what makes us different than Expedia and Travelocity, whatever. That's what makes us different. Also, I'm just going to share this line. Weave in what you do, why you do it. Again, you're selling yourself. Talk about, yes, I've been in, I've always loved travel, been in the travel business for X amount of time, but I've been certified as a this or that. My specialty is groups. My specialty is blah, blah. Weave it in. You are selling yourself. And ask personal questions. Develop a relationship. If you decide that this person is, as you go through it, worth your time. So having said that, let's talk about something else. We're kind of quickly. And we'll come back and ask questions and get questions answered. Because if you have questions, put them in the chat, please. So I want to talk about staying in contact with your clients and prospective clients. Guys, I got to tell you, that is major. That is major. Because in this time, with people not doing anything or they are getting bombarded by other things. Let's bombard them in a nice way about things that they love, dreaming, planning, leaving the area. So one of the things I love about our company is that it allows us to do that. If you go to your dashboard, as I am, and you scroll down to marketing, sales, and tools, click on join marketing, sales, and tools. I want y'all to scroll down again because this is a tool that it's worth its weight in gold. This client newsletter, email marketing. The other two are down here, Travel Incentive Center, blah, blah, but I'm only going to talk about these two right now because this is a way to send vibrant email communications, just like it says, directly to your clients. So how do you do it? And I hope you all have seen this. And if you have seen it, then you need to start using it. Send an email in moments, and that is exactly right. And there's all different kinds of templates, as you can see. And I just did one just recently, and it was, here it is. Are you ready? All you got to do is click on it, scroll down. I had some people that were inside I already put in there, so I'm going to just do me. So I am going to, hold on a second, because I wrote it out and I don't want to, I'm just going to say test, 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 because it is a test. Preview it. This is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. This is the email. Are you itching to get back out in the world? Are you daydreaming about your next tropical drink or tucked away restaurant? Are you looking at your friends' vacation photos with envy? It sounds like it might be time to start planning your vacation. And then you've got dear, whatever the person's name is, and then whatever little blurb that you decide you want to add. But even more than that, guess what? That's the preview. I'm closing it out. All I got to do is mail it. And it says, your email to has been sent. Easy. How do you put that in? How do you put, you just go right here. I'm scrolling. Oops, I went past it, sorry. Send an email in minutes. It tells you everything that you need to do to put their email inside your system. And it's right here. Click here to add a new customer. And all you need is their first name, last name, and email address. That's it. Huge. I love this because also, I'm going to come back out. Let's see if I can go one more place. Here, the newsletter. Oh, you need to be sending these out, ladies and gentlemen. Super simple. There's even a video on how to do it, but I can tell you that once you do it, I just did a sample one, January 2021 New Year Thoughts, view your newsletter. It just has a picture of you, the picture that you put up on your site. Hello, a little blurb message that you put on there. Visit just, and then whatever things that you want them to be thinking about or dreaming about. Maybe it's Hawaii, maybe it's Insta, whatever you think, and it goes and it's sent to them via email. You can't buy that kind of marketing. I should say it this way. When they say that we have more than $100,000 in marketing material in our at our fingertips that we don't have to purchase, they mean it, and it's there. Any questions? I wanted to take this time because we are running out of time at 6:27 to see Director Roan. Is there any questions or comments that you would like to share out of the chat feature?
Actually, what's pretty exciting about the chat feature, which here's a plug, that's why we want to get on live things. If you've been looking at what some of your partners are saying, they're amplifying what we're sharing, or they're making another suggestion. Things like you can send that newsletter or what have you to more than one person. You can do all kinds of ways to leverage your business, which includes why you want to continue to add people to your contact that you have, that you're just continually adding. But when I looked in there was not a lot. I did have a question if, we have partners who use, and someone said that they send out birthday cards, postcards to welcome people for their birthday, or when they go to, they come back from a trip. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can separate yourself from the no name or the name sites. So very good. There was nothing dramatic except for if Kat could come back and briefly share. And here's the thing, everything is changing so rapidly. So that's why we have to stay on top of it. Kat, if you'll share what the conditions were at the airport that you happen to fly on and the plane that you happen to fly on with that airline. So everybody gets that. Things can change. But if you can do that briefly, that would be great.
Sure.
Tennessee Way. Oh, can I make a quick comment before Kat goes? Because
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm glad that she's going to talk about that. It was a recent experience, but most people know that I have like a 40-year history working for the airlines,
and you
which I just recently fired them.
You are. What's your name?
Chinganji.
Okay, welcome.
But anyway, I wanted to share just some recent information that I received from some of my former colleagues that you want to get to the airport early, particularly if you're going to international, because there are questionnaires I think Kat mentioned that she was able to do hers online. A lot of people do show up and have not done it online, and they're required to do the questionnaire before they're even able to check in. And because people aren't allowing enough extra time, people are missing their flights. So in addition to the issue with COVID-19 wiping out staff at TSA, you're also having people that are stuck in lines trying to fill out their paperwork so they can get to the airplane on time.
Thank you, Ms. Akinyela.
Great, great, great. Okay. Kat, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, just piggybacking off of what you guys have already said, that it's important to really check with that specific airline because they're all doing things a little bit different. She's right. There were people stepping out of line left and right after standing in line for an hour and then getting up there and have not completed those forms and have to then step out of line to complete those forms and get back in line. People were hot. They were hotter than fish grease. But if you did not follow the instructions, I don't know what to tell you, you know? So that for us, I'm stalking those websites, whoever my clients are going on, as well as myself. And I'm checking and triple checking and double checking, even to the day before they go somewhere or I go somewhere, just to see if anything has changed. I know specifically with COVID, they were updating every 7 to 14 days. And so if you miss that update, it could be, you know, tomorrow for the 7th day for you. And you just don't know. So just continue to check. On our way there, the flight was only a third full. So everyone on there had an empty row to themselves and the back of the plane was totally empty. On the way back, I was a little uncomfortable because there was a lot of people on that flight, but the middle seat was still open. So it was enough to where we weren't packed, but it was definitely way more people returning to the States than it was leaving.
Good, good, good. Okay, good. So I think Director Myrick, you wanted me to talk briefly on 3 simple bullet points on leveraging.
Yes, please.
One of my favorite examples. Are you ready for me to do that right now?
Ma'am, if you could go over a couple of things, because this is chock full of stuff. So I hope everybody's taking notes.
Absolutely. And, you know, looking at the chat, leverage is one of our favorite words, right? Because it's when you use something to the maximum advantage. I want to give you 3 simple ways to leverage. And while they may not seem too big, they can yield great dividends. One of them is to leverage other partners' experiences. And how do you do that? On events like this and some of the other places where we share information. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have gone. But right now, you just learned some things. For example, when Kat Hines shared some things that is invaluable, that people who are not on might not have gotten, or it helps to spur you to look into something different. So you've got to plug in. And I'm going to encourage everyone that's on this line. Here's my challenge to you. And I know who's on the line. I want you to go into your team page and post something about your travel experience that either you just booked someone. I know Director Myers, I looked over there, you had 2 people you were working on for this year and one was a referral. Post something about what you're doing in your travel world right now. And somebody is going to see something and connect. So the first thing is leverage your partner's experiences and mesh them with your own. Okay, the second one is if you're already working on a quote unquote, a package, whatever that is, a resort, a cruise, whatever it is for a client, you're going to clearly be talking to a supplier for the most part. While you're there, leverage your time. So you might have a client going to a resort, a couple. Get all your information that you got out of your contact form, the appointment you made. But while you're there, because you're always thinking about options, ask that supplier, what do they, you know, what is their policy for adding on people to this group? What is their cancellation? What are the benefits if you actually had a group instead of the couple? you're just needing that information because you might decide, especially like on a cruise, you have a couple going on a cruise, and why not put a group together for 8 cabins? People don't have to hang out, but there's some benefits that could offer for not only your clients, but for you. The other thing, when you ask some questions while you have the supplier, your travel partner on the line, informed, intelligent questions, ladies and gentlemen, it helps you get much more knowledgeable about that supplier, because you know what? You're going to start picking some suppliers that are your go-tos, your favorites. And the way you get that is working with them. Maybe you like their payment plans. Maybe you like their hours of operation. We don't know, but this is how you're selecting them. The last thing, and I love looking at the chats because many of you are already doing this, is once, for example, once I've done some good qualifying up front, and let me just say this, it's better to spend more time up front, because once you start looking, there's a plethora of things and you'll be overwhelmed. But if you're pretty clear about what you're looking for, it makes you navigate a lot better, leveraging your time better. But since I've asked some good qualifying questions up front, and I add some things to that contact list that I may need, like I want no passport or just some certain things, right? Then I start looking for possible ways to increase the value for my clients, for their experience, and help my bank account. And how do I mean that? I look at the activities. When I went to Thailand and we did our, everything was booked through my booking engine, of course, or my contacts. But then I thought, what am I going to do when I get there? I went to my activities on my back office and I got our transfers. When I went to my elephant sanctuary, I booked it because I looked for it. I know when Chinganji Akanyela and then we're in Italy, they booked a cooking class. What is it you like? I'm sure Kat Hines, when she was on those horses on that beach, she just didn't go out there and give her money away. She booked them through her own site. So I'm always looking, how can I increase my value to my clients and their experience, and also increase my bank account? So those are the 3 things I'd say to leverage. Leverage your partner's experience while you're booking. Always be looking for, here's a way to take advantage of what time you think. Because one last thing, say you worked on a group, a package for the client, and they decided they're not going to go. You don't take that and throw that away. Market it, put it in one of those emails. Hey, what about this? So you got a lot of great ways that you can leverage. Back to you, Director Myricks.
Awesome. I really love this business. I really do. And I love this business, and I love this business, Planet Marketing and Teletravel. So we've talked about a couple of things, the new CDC order. We've talked about qualifying. We've talked about staying in contact and how to do it with your clients. We've talked about leveraging. And now we get to a part where I love it as well. This is the time in our team call where we ask the goal builders to come up. And if you have anybody else who has decided to partner with us, who is new on our new partner since the last week, this is the time that we give them some love. I would like you to come on up and just share with us who our new partners are, our new business partners, as well as travel advisors. Come on up, goal builders.
Greetings. This is McKenna from San Diego.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
hello. Yes, we can. Go right ahead.
Yes, I'm very happy to say that I have a new partner that joined us today for her first team meeting. Her name is Rachel Boyd from Torrance, California.
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome. What an amazing time to be a part of our business. Congratulations.
Anybody else?
I have someone that I personally sponsored. I want to welcome Corel Winters, and she's out of Kingston, Jamaica.
Well, well, well. We look like we're trying to take over the Caribbean. Congratulations. Sandra Myrick, you're on mute.
Anybody else? Last but not least?
You know, may I say this, Aaron, why don't you, I know you're here, Aaron, why don't you welcome your partner from last week? If you're still on.
I got you. You caught me off guard a little bit there. Sorry. All right. My partner is Letitia Bryant from right here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Great, great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And congratulations on your new partner, Aaron. Okay.
That being said, then I will pass this right back to our Director Dawkins for any closing comments as we get ready to sign off.
All right, awesome, awesome. Well, this was amazing. I do love to hear about travel and how to book it better, faster, stronger, more. So I'm really excited about that. And I encourage you that, again, each and every second Thursday, we're going to talk all travel. So definitely plug in and learn more and take this information. And if nothing else, go to the client newsletter and just do it once. Send it to yourself. See how easy it is. Take something that you learned today, tonight, or were reminded about and act on it right away. Do something right away. Okay. So that being said, we have done our announcements. I do want to go through directors. Y'all have spoken, but I know we have another director on the line. I think I saw him. I do want to give him a moment in case he wants to interject anything or even share with us why Super Saturday is so important. But One Star Director, he and his wife work this business side by side together, doing some amazing things on his way to 2. I call him 2-star. Mr. Dorian Joyner, are you out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Well, tonight was, Sandy, you did a wonderful job. You and Tom Searsworth did a beautiful job with the travel. I hope everybody takes that. I learned it's encouraged not only get everybody on the call for this or to go back and listen to the replay, get the people who weren't here to listen to the replay so that they could see what they're missing. But as far as this Saturday, you want to make sure that everybody is on this call for Saturday, to have all both founders of both companies, along with the president of the company. It's going to be some power-packed information. So you just don't want to be there. Cedric always says, when you come, you learn. But what happens is when you get your team there, you earn. And so you want to just get people there, even get some prospects there to actually see and hear the heart of what both companies and both founders are going to be talking about this week. So I just encourage everybody to make sure to promote this weekend.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. All right. Well, any other questions that we need to address really quickly before we leave? Got about 2 minutes. All right. Okay, fantastic. Well, I will tell you as a preview, I want you to come back next week. Next week, we are going to dive into promotions. And we're going to do some more hands-on work. So, bring your notepad, be ready to participate. But next week, the theme will be around promotions. So I'm excited. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for spending your time, for sharing your lives, and for building your dreams with me. Have a fantastic evening. Good night, everybody. Go
Good
Builders.
night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Good
Nice
night,
to
everybody.
meet you.
Everybody.
Bye.
Excellent job, Sandra.
Good night.